Welcome to my channel. My name is Mommy. Can call me Uni Sports. This is Uni Sports where I review books, talk about life experiences, and share from the word. So today, guess what I'm doing today? Ta-da! I am reviewing a movie. It's a very short movie. I'm not one given to movies, but I, just stumbled on this short film and I thought to it's actually like a 12 minutes watch, right? And it's turned out very, very interesting and it has a lot of lessons in it. So I came up to talk about it. The title of the movie I'm reviewing is The Silent Child. The Silent Child. And the summary. The Silent Child happened to be Libby. Libby, became is it deaf at the age of 3.5 years, and even though just in 1 year, right, but she's actually dumb, she can't talk, right, and they discovered that at the age of 3.5 years, but she got a hearing aid for the second year for the years, but she just doesn't wear it, she doesn't like to wear it, right, and so communicating became very difficult for the parents. So most times when they want to talk to her, they've tried different ways of engaging her, but the only thing she seems to be grabbing at least is lip reading. So when they want to talk to her, they take their time, and the pace is very slow. She doesn't grab fast. So when they want to talk to her, they take their time to talk to her. And there's this other thing about her. She's a very reserved child, such that when they're on the table in the dining, eating, she barely communicates, she just keeps to herself. Even when she wants something, she doesn't say it. So the only thing that she's interested in doing is watching cartoons. That's the only thing that gives her joy. It makes her happy. But then of course she cannot just keep doing that. There are a lot of other things that she needs to do, like she needs to learn, like grow up like a normal child, and she can only do that if she can understand what people are saying, if she can communicate to when asked questions in the class. And so the parent thought of hiring a help, so they got Joanne. Joanne is a professional sign language teacher, right? She helps with people, children with hearing disability or speaking disability. So that's the summary, right? And then from the introduction, we saw how Joanne came to the house. They told her the brief history of Libby, and then handed over to her. Then everybody else in the house dashed out of the house. Like they went on their daily activities. The mother went to work, father went to work, siblings went to school, and so it's just Libby and Joanne in the house. So Joanne tried different ways of communicating with her, and then even though she was a little reserved at the beginning, but she got on, and so Joanne introduced sign language to Libby, and before you know it, in the space of 2 weeks, Libby was already reciprocating, like she was already communicating with Joanne, and that's like a great improvement compared to before, when she would barely say anything, she just keep to herself and stuff. But and at this progress, Joanne was very, very excited about it, and I know that there was a point in time when the mom was around with Joanne, right? Like Joanne arrived in the morning, and the mom was saying something to Libby, but she wasn't listening, right? She wasn't interested in whatever the mother wants to tell her. She's excited about the new thing she just learned, what the new language, the new way she can communicate, and so. But the mom was just bent on lip reading, like she just wants. So at some point, she called Joanne, literally called Joanne, to say that they appreciate all her efforts, but they would like her to focus more on lip reading. That's what they want the child to learn. Meanwhile, the child is doing well in sign language, and so there was a point in time, right, when they were gathered on the dining, and then for the first time she communicated what she wanted, and which is orange. But it was just one of the siblings on the dining that understood what she wanted. But she was communicating that in sign language, and the parents were like, "What's she saying? What's that?" And so one of the siblings said she wanted orange, and he passed away, and she thanked him also in sign language. And the parents got curious. They're like, so how do you know it is orange she wants? Like, how do you know that? And it was like, well, he saw the teacher, like he saw her and the instructor um when they were working one of those days, and that's how I learned orange in sign language. And so that's, I know that that didn't sit well with the mom. And then maybe the following day she called Joanne to tell her that she would like her to stop taking Libya on sign language, that the rest of the family doesn't understand what she's saying. And so they would like her to focus more on lip reading. And so that was how they discharged Joanne, right? And I don't feel that that is right. So here's my opinion on the short film, right? I don't feel that that is absolutely right. At the end of the day, it was a message to to parents with children with disabilities. So they were trying to say that there are institutions and there are other means that you can help your child to learn, right? And so you should explore as much as you can to help your child with disability. So yeah, the lessons, like my own point of view, what I think about the short film. I feel that um, the parents had issues with prioritization, and it was obvious all through the movie, like from right from day one with Joan, right? As she was arriving, all the family were just stepping out one by one, and there were like two occasions when the mother said she was going to stay longer than usual, and so Joan should please fill in for her with Libby. That was one. And I mean, two times like that she had to say that. And I don't feel that it is okay, right? Because this child needs your attention, so we need to know that um, 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 above all things, right, you need to know that your primary assignment as a parent is to care for your child. You want to provide for them, you want to be there for them and stuff, but you need to learn to balance things, to strike a balance, so that you don't end up working so hard for the kids, and at the end of the day, they don't even know you, they don't want to be your friend, because you just never there physically for them. So this mother would always go out together, and I feel that the responsibility for more on the mom, this being a girl child. As much as the girl child can be close to their father, the mother also need to be present, right, depending on the kind of dad everybody has, right? So I saw that they were not always there, right? So prioritization, I think that work in their case was more important, kind of, and so they were never present. And also, you should also know that prioritization also, that as much as you feel that you want to work for this child to be okay, you want to work to pay abuse, I feel like you should also communicate with the child, right? And um let the child know that I would like to buy you a car, I would like to buy you this dress, I would like to buy you these shoes, but we need to pay for your tuition to learn sign language. And this is coming from the place of my conversation with a friend that watched the film too, and was like, well, mom, it might not really be okay. So let me just go to my second point so that I can now link both of them together. So my second point is selflessness and sacrifice. I was not in the film. I'm seeing that the parents were not willing to take out time to also learn sign language, and that was why they were emphasizing on lip reading. So because the mom is always busy, obviously she will not have time to learn sign language together with the child, so she can start communicating in sign language, because she already knows how to talk. And so all she needs to do, if the child learns lip reading well, all she will need to do is to just continue conversing with her, like she will converse with every other person in the house. Meanwhile, she can as well learn sign language, right? So it also comes with prioritization. As much as you like to make more money at work, you should be willing to take off time so that you be with the child, to learn with the child, and also communicate with the rest of the family. Like the father also needs to be involved. Maybe if possible, sacrifice like one of the weekends when the child would come around, teach the whole of the house sign language. You have a syllabus to work with, right? Because you just have to make the sacrifice for this child. This is just one, like this is just one major thing you do for a child that child will be forever grateful for. If you don't want to learn, if you don't want to take out time to study with her so that you can learn the language you understand, well, I don't see how that is going to work for the rest of the family. So lip reading obviously will be the only option. However, if all of them are willing to be selfless, if they are willing to sacrifice for their sister, for the daughter and for their, of course, for their daughter, sign language will not be that difficult, right? It will not be like not a good option, because that was the way the mother was projecting sign language, like, well, we want her to focus on lip reading for now. In fact, I want her to focus on lip reading and this, that. And another thing is about prioritization. As much as you want to take your child to the most expensive school, you want to find out if the school can actually meet the need of your child, right? So another emphasis was that they've enrolled her in a school and they made all their findings and they feel that the school is okay, but can the school meet the specific need of this child? This child is dumb, so is there a provision for dumb children in that school? I see that they weren't looking at that. They just want to be comfortable, because learning sign language will also involve changing our school to a school where they teach people of a kind, right, in the same language. It's also involved the family learning sign language, and so, but I do not see the willingness on their part to do that. So if you're a mother or a father with, or parent with a child with disability, you must be willing to go all the way for your child so that the child can learn. You need to give extra attention. You can't be tired of the child, right? You cannot. And the child will not actually be with you forever. I know that it takes great selflessness and sacrifice for you to devote your time, attention, money to a child. And probably the child will be leaving your house at 18, and that would be like 18 years of your entire life devoted to a child, but it's going to worth it at the end of the day. So I feel it's also more about prioritization. If you know that your primary assignment first off is to your marriage, to your family, to your children, because at the end of the day, after all is said and done, if you all you have to show for your entire life is medals, right, or awards, if that's all you have to show, I don't think that's a life well lived. You need to live a all-round life. So, and that includes your marriage, your children, right? Your children, you and your spouse. So you need to learn to prioritize. The mother was just always going here and there, not always available, having to take time, having to ask Joan to please stay a little longer than usual, because she will not be arriving at the time she should be back in the house. And I don't feel that is okay enough. And then lastly, the school also have a responsibility in this film. I feel that the school have a role to play, right? So now they brought a child with a hearing disability and a speaking disability, right? And because you do not have provision, they actually shield the class where the teacher was communicating. In fact, the teacher was dictating to the children. They were having a spelling a spelling bee, not like a spelling bee. They were having dictation in their lecturing class, and the teacher was just dictating, not mindful of the child that couldn't hear. And so Libby was just there looking. There's no provision for her, for people like her in the school. And so I feel that the school also have a responsibility to give their candid advice to parents when they bring their children to school. No, you don't for crying out loud, I mean, it is not the tuition of one child that will pay the salary of your staff. I don't feel I don't think you should, even if it's going to pay the salary of a staff, I don't think you should deprive a child of learning because of how much the parents are going to pay or whatnot. So the school also have a responsibility to give their candid advice to parents when they bring their kids to their school. Like, okay, so we understand your child have a year, and that's not segregating or whatever. You're just trying to be helpful. So you let them know that our school does not have provision for children with hearing disability, and because as a result of that, your child will not be able to learn here. If you want to keep the child here, well, you can. Of course, we want your child to be here. We love you, we love your child, but in all honesty, we know that your child will not be able to learn at the same rate with other kids, and that will be a disadvantage to you and to your child. So the school have a responsibility here in the OP. So in all of this, I think the whole summary of my point is that there are lessons to be learned in the film, and one of the lessons is prioritization. Parents learn to prioritize. I mean, couples learn to prioritize. Know that your shop, your profession, your career is not as important as your marriage, because after all is said and done, when you retire from your work, you're coming back to a family, and if there's no home to begin with, it means you're coming home to nothing. So when they are demanding more of your time, when they are demanding more of your attention, you need to learn to prioritize and know how to apply wisdom in every instances, right? Then secondly, sacrifice. We need to sacrifice for our family members. Parents with children with disabilities, we need to know that it's a big sacrifice, that this is like something the Lord has entrusted into your hand, and it will take like a great selflessness and sacrifice for you to manage these gifts from the Lord. So you cannot just treat the child like every other child. Like I was telling my mom the other day, there's this particular child that will come to our shop to buy something, and she'll be speaking very low, like you can barely hear what she's saying. And at some point, like the mom came to our shop to return some things the girl bought, and was like, she's so sluggish, she's not smart. And when the mother left, I was telling my mom that some children are actually very sensitive. Some are just the way they are, some children are just reserved. It's not about not being smart, because she actually came to tell us all the things she wanted, but there are some things we didn't have, and we told her. So when she got home, the mother was not happy, and she was just angry, right? So we actually need a lot of patience to deal with our children. We cannot deal with you can't deal with your three children the same way. One of them will be more quiet, one will be more outspoken, one will just be in between, and you need to understand that, right? And speak to them always from your heart, and let them also communicate to you from their heart, right? Have a relationship with them, understand your children, and you need time to do that, and you need to create time where there is no time, which is why we need to prioritize everything. When it's time for church, be in church to pray. When it's time to go to work, be at work to work. And when it's time to be home, be at home, be present at home, and be involved in everything in your house. And then lastly, is that the last one? Yeah. Lastly, we have schools. Schools, you also have responsibilities. You need to communicate with parents as they are coming, engage the children, know if you have what it takes to train this particular child at this phase of their life. And if you can't, be honest enough to tell the parents, so that they can take them to a school that would cater for the need of the children, for the learning need of the children. If not, you'd at the end of the day, you would have played a role in, breeding children that, that do not just know where they want to go. They don't know what they want to do again, because they do not have the basic things that they need, which could have been given to them from their schools, elementary schools, right? And that's all about The Silent Child. If you enjoyed this movie review, I'd like you to give this video a thumbs up. I also like you to comment down below what you think. Have you watched the movie? What do you think about the movie? What's your perspective on the movie? Please give it a comment. Like, let me know what you think. And of course, you want to subscribe. If you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. You also want to go to Instagram to follow me on my Instagram page at Unisports. And you also want to follow the radio station that I work with, Kingdom Lifestyle Radio, on Instagram, YouTube, on Facebook. You want to follow Kingdom Lifestyle Radio. And of course, I am a fashion designer. You should know by now. It's blurry. So I am a fashion designer. You want to follow my fashion page at MSI Stitches, right? That's where I upload on my sewing project, like the result of my sewing project. So I actually do have a sewing project to embark on as soon as I stop this video. And I've got my sewing, this is ready. I have my sewing cord that I'll be using to sew. I have my pattern paper, and I do have my tape measure. I also have my scissors, and I have my chalk. And of course, I do have the fabric I want to use. At the end of the day, I'll be uploading the outcome of this particular sewing project I'll be embarking on after this video on my Instagram page at MSI Stitches. MSI Stitches. So you want to visit my Instagram page to check what sewing project, what dress I sew after this video. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. You also want to come back or click on the notification bell so you get a first-hand notice every time I upload a new video. My name is Maomi, aka Unisports. Thank you for watching, and do have a great day ahead.